It's Our Time podcast is brought to you by Tech for Nonprofits Resource Hub, where we create content for our target groups, that is nonprofits, techies, and ecosystem enablers. TFN is a SaaS digital platform where we aim to connect nonprofit organizations with tech tools, solutions, talent, and emerging issues, and techies to social impact work. Welcome to another episode of It's Our Time podcast by TFN. In this episode, we're going to look at how Safaricom's MPESA is empowering non-profits to crowdfund and better serve their communities. So welcome, Mr. Gitau Macharia.
Thank you, Kwoba, Magero. And I'm really happy to be here.
So we can begin with just who you are, your role at Safaricom.
So as you said, my name is Gitau. From here in Kenya. I am a lover of outdoors. Anywhere that I can be outside, I really enjoy it. Being in the wild, seeing our wild animals, in our beaches, mountains. Yeah, so I like an adventure. At Safaricom, I lead products for savings and investments within MPESA. A very exciting role, which is a very new product that we are, and looking forward to scaling and seeing how much more we can impact customers with a savings and investment culture.
That's great that you like to explore.
In fact, I normally say, if I see a road, the first thing I'll do is check the fuel gauge. If I have enough fuel, divert.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So we're really happy to have you join us today.
Yes.
And we are looking at Safaricom and its products and how nonprofits can also benefit from them, other than the enterprises that we know already use your services as well. Our first question will be around understanding the ecosystem. M-PESA is widely seen as a lifeline for financial inclusion in Kenya. How does Safaricom envision its role in supporting the nonprofit and social impact system?
As you rightly put it, there are huge correlations towards financial inclusion. If you look at the financial inclusion in 2007, it stood at roughly 24%. Fast forward 18 years later, and M-PESA turns 18 this year. Happy birthday, M-PESA. We're looking at a highs of 84% financial inclusion. I mean, you can have correlations towards that. But going towards Safaricom and away from M-PESA, Safaricom actively supports social impact through organizations like Safaricom Foundation and M-PESA Foundation that use CSR towards impact. For example, Safaricom Foundation was founded in 2003. And since then, we've been able to work with thousands of organizations to impact over 8 million lives here in Kenya. And of course, that is achieved through partnership with the likes of non-profit organizations, and with focus around areas like health, education, environment, and many other aspects around that.
What are some existing partnerships between M-PESA and nonprofits or community-based organizations, other than the ones you've mentioned?
We do have many organizations that we worked with, and we could look at them in terms of buckets that we're looking at. Within health, we do have a lot. You have your Uzazi Salama, where we work with AMREF. You have your Daktari Smart, where we work with Gertrude's Hospital. You have your Fistula Camps, where we work with various non-profit organizations. We have medical camps that run all through. In education, we have Wezesha Elimu, supporting children with disabilities, where we work with various non-profit Christian organizations. You have your Wezesha Vijana TVET. You have your M-PESA Foundation Academy, which we're very proud of, which is an entirely full academy supporting that. You have our economic empowerment areas, where we have your likes of Wezesha Agri, where we work with one of our very good partners called Hand in Hand. We have Ndoto Zetu, which is ideally, as you say, Ndoto being your Swahili word for dreams. And it's our dreams. How do you bring that out? And one of my favorites that I have is Wezesha Mama, who I have very personally worked with in various corners of Kenya. We work with hand in hand. And ideally, just as it says, Wezesha is a Swahili word for enable. So we're enabling the mamas or the women in our communities. So we do have a lot, and there's one that's very popular in the country, which looks at environment, which we all know as Leo Marathon, where we take the world to run in the wild. But the key underlying impact is environment. We do also are happy to craft with different organizations. Yeah, so we are open to work with any other organizations. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. That's quite in-depth, and we are happy to hear about these examples and feel the presence of Safaricom through its various CSR projects and throughout Kenya.
Yeah.
So crowdfunding with MPESA.
Yeah.
Can MPESA be used directly as a crowdfunding tool by nonprofits? If so, what models or products are most effective?
So a short answer is yes. We do support crowdfunding. Within Safaricom, you would be able to get your wallet to make it easy for you. I'll give you an example of, and I'm sure everyone that you know has had an emergency of some sort, or a way that you needed to collect funds from different people. It's become so simple. I'd even start from the communication part. I'll set a WhatsApp group, and this is for fundraising for a medical emergency. And this particular example is for individuals before we go to organizations. All I have to do is go into WhatsApp, create my group, invite you, state why I need, what the emergency is. And the next thing I'll do is I'll put in my personal phone number, which is attached to MPESA. Or I can do a small merchant wallet, which helps you, which we call Pochi. And once I put that in, all you have to do is send money. And the beauty about this is I'll get live updates, both parties. I'll get an update of how much you've sent me, and you get an update that you've successfully sent me this money. That way we've already started crowdfunding. We've already started collecting money towards this. And the beauty about this is once you collect, you can also send towards the emergency. So if it's a hospital bill, all you have to do is send money from this wallet that you have to the hospital bill. If it's a funeral expense, it's the same thing. However, crowdfunding sometimes has a different level of digitization. So in the very easy sense of moving money and being able to do, and having clear audit trails of how much money has been moved as possible. So if you were to look further, you probably add a few more things to it. You probably add a CRM, messaging to tell you, thank you, Kwoba, for sending me this. You can customize it. Or you can be, yes, you had pledged X amount of money. I have only received this. And that can also be automated on MPESA to say that you have this balance and you have this, and you would like to trigger the other amount X time. The digitization of crowdfunding and moving money is something Safaricom is an MPESA does very strongly.
As you mentioned, the CRM part, looking at nonprofit having various sources of funding, maybe from donor funds directly and some from crowdfunding. How would you advise them to be able to distinguish the various sources of funds, including the crowdfunding, into their accounts? And how can they also be accountable to not only their donors with their specific funding policies, but also to the community that fundraises for them?
You touch on visibility and transparency, and it's one of the key pillars of Safaricom in terms of transparency. Looking at such an example, so would say Kwoba is a non-profit organization, and she's looking to crowdfund or she's looking to receive donor funding. So what you do is that you'd have a special wallet that we have within MPESA. And the purpose of that wallet can have a lot of functionalities. And so we are happy to customize it within that. I'll paint a picture of what's possible. So if you're a donor, if you're a non-profit and you're receiving donors, so you can send money from wherever you are in the world straight to that wallet. You would use our trust accounts to send cash to cash within that. And then that cash would be converted to e-money within that. So you have that visibility of having moved that money to this site. And as a non-profit organization, wherever you sit, let's say you sit in one of the countries outside Kenya, you still have visibility Because what you do is you would go to a Safaricom website and one of our portals called Daraja. Within Daraja, you're able to set up an API for all this. So you can also connect this to your existing ERPs that you have or CRMs that you may have. If you don't have that, you can still use that portal. So when you move money from wherever you are into Kenya, into that wallet, and that money sits, and immediately you have it reflected. The minute that money hits that account, within an hour, 30 minutes, you should have everything reflecting in your MPESA account. Now, from there, you have a track record of what money has come in. So you have it within that. The other part, perhaps and any other funds that you receive from a B2B organization comes in. Now, let's assume you're also receiving money from individuals within that. That same wallet is able to receive and have a very clear track record of who is sending money to it, with dashboards and audits to know exactly how much money has come from this, what time, what day, within that. Now, I'm sure you also have needs of sending money out. Now, let's assume you have a last mile delivery. You have the beneficiaries. So your beneficiaries, you probably want to trigger. It's an event-based. You say that on this day, you have kind of a social protection. You have examples like Inua Jamii that happens, and I'll talk about it. And you say probably at the end of the month is when you want to send this money to these people. Perhaps it's for living expenses, it's for something of the sort. Let's focus on that. So at the end of the month, you'll say, on the 30th of the month, at this time, I'd like this money sent. And this amount of money is what you'd like to send to these people. So you're able to also upload information. If you haven't connected via APIs to hit a certain record of customer or of beneficiaries, then you can upload. Then you upload all this and amount of money, and then you send to bulk. We call that a B2C, business to customer. So, and that is pushed out from there. Now, perhaps you also have suppliers, you have your drivers, you have anything else that you need to pay. You can also do that to that same wallet. And all these things will have track records, reports. You send this beneficiaries right now, 10 minutes later, you pull a report and you're able to pull it. Your accounts team can also have visibility of all this to have. So it makes last mile delivery. Remember, you can send as low as 10 shillings, which is maybe 0.07 dollars. So it can move very small denominations at very low cost, keeping everything safe, having clear records of who, and lastly, your transparency as to who's doing it. And all this can be done in a portal wherever you are in the world. Yeah.
That's very nice because regardless of where the money or the source of funds are, it's good to be accountable to your the people supporting your causes in the community. How would one go about setting up the wallet again?
If you're setting it up yourself, we have something we call a short-term pay bill. So for very quick needs, we have emergency short-term pay bills. This requires very little KYC to be able to do this. Ideally, we use them locally for hospital expenses, funeral expenses. You just have quick needs that you need to do. That is easily, you go to our website in Safaricom and under pay bill, you're able to apply for that. If you're a non-profit organization, you have your KYC, the government document, you would use that as your KYC information to set this up. Again, you can upload all this. So you can go to the website and have it all uploaded. MPESA would be able to verify these documents and issue you with one. Within that same period, once you get that, you'd still go to the same website under Daraja. Daraja is a Swahili term meaning bridge. So it's to bridge. So within that, that's where you now set up your APIs. That's where now you connect. You have your unique identifier, which is your pay bill. And then now from there, you set up all the functionalities you'd like to do with this pay bill. So it's very simple, all digital, all online, very possible. So wherever you are, you can be able to do it.
Once that is set up, you can, as a non-profit, you're able to share the information through your socials, your website, and it's all interlinked.
Yes. If you're looking to crowdfund from individuals, that would be the way. So you'd be able to set that pay bill, you set the account number, which will be your name or the initiative and the amount of money. If it's triggered, maybe like a online checkout, you would use the same. If you have a website where you ask people to just donate and then continue process of payment, so that's also possible. You'd have it within your website, within your environment. You have customers put it in, your donors put it in, and anyone else, any other well-wisher would be able to have that entire process within your environment.
That's really nice, and especially the automation of the payment processes, because nonprofits usually handle different types of needs, let's say in terms of project implementation. If it's a hotel, they need to pay for the way you've said, even the driver, reimbursements to their participants. All this can be automated using the same wallet.
You know, I also forgot to mention that we have over 350,000 agents across. So we're able to reach even grassroots. So let's say devices are an issue. Maybe a phone, they don't have a phone, they don't have anything. We're able to tap into our 350,000 agents across the country to be able to access this. So if you need disbursements done, that is a possible way to do all this. So they'd be able to do all this and push the money through that. So you're able to even go further and not even be affected by any digital divide. Yeah.
And I know you've focused a lot about Kenya, but I'm curious if you're able to give more information if a nonprofit has a base in Nairobi, yes, but a program is being implemented, let's say in Uganda or Tanzania, and their whole system is under MPESA. How would one go about doing the same processes in terms of payments when they are outside of Kenya?
The beauty about Safaricom is that we're able to offer you 9 other countries within the Vodacom ecosystem. So MPESA is a product and a brand within 9 other countries. As a donor or as a non-profit organization, you are able to tap into those 9 countries to use the same facilities. So our core platform is the same across everywhere, meaning these functionalities would be the same. You might have a bit nuances in terms of products here and there, but the core system would be able to support you across that. Yes.
We've already spoken about transparency, accountability. Are there plans to co-create specialized nonprofit fundraising tools within the M-PESA ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because we do have success stories around that. Because if you look at, let's begin by 2011, where we had Kenyans for Kenyans, where this was a campaign towards, we had very serious famine in 2011 affecting Kenyans. And Kenyans came together to use a Safaricom pay bill to be able to fund this. And we collected over $68 million during that period to be able to support that. Another very unique one is the most recent, that during COVID, in collaboration with the Kenya government, we're able to set up a crowdfunding tool, which is using one of our products, a pay bill. And then we collected over $3.5 million. Yeah, I think 3.8. I could be wrong with the numbers. I'll confirm. But we also set up one called We Are One within Safaricom. We worked with Changa, who over a period of a long time has been able to collect over $77 million for this particular purpose, and supporting over 2,000 organizations, 100,000 organizations, and 500,000 lives impacted. There are also other examples, for Inua Jamii. So we have our Inua Jamii program, and this is a social protection program. Inua Jamii is a social protection. Ideally is giving funds to the elderly and the disabled towards this, and the less abled, if I may use that word. And this is a system trigger. So we do have a core platform that is dedicated to do such kind of solutions. And it's an example I told you. You have your donor on one side and you have your recipients on this side, and anyone in between. So talk to us. We have that solution ready, and we would like to partner and see how much impact we can have, how much more impact we can have.
You've already even briefly answered my next question, but we can expound on it if possible. Yes. For Safaricom stroke M-PESA, where do you see the role of mobile money evolving the next 5 years, especially in social impact funding?
Things have really evolved, because what you can see, social impact in funding has also gone to the level of, as much as you are giving support, you're also trying to build someone's livelihood by probably even impacting them with maybe financial literacy skills, business skills, business tools, credit, things like savings. And what we see is that within Safaricom, we have our department the same, known as DigiFarm. DigiFarm's aim is to support transform lives through agriculture. So if we're to look at that wing, what you're probably looking at within that is, as you come in to support the beneficiaries, you are impacting them with life-changing skills, which is probably farming. And we're able to offer tools to give this. And the tools could be knowledge, could be credit-based solutions, where you're able to offer credit as a non-profit organization to them. And we'll be able to work things like collection, distribution, disbursement, and the likes. So there you're able to impact them with that. You're also able to do last mile impact kind of solutions. For example, we're looking at our fertilizer subsidies, where we were impacting farmers through the partnership of the government with fertilizer. So at this level, what you're doing is that you're going to retailers and you're able to now give these retailers maybe credit or some of the solutions that you have to be able to disperse through that. So we do have last mile within that. You're also able to do value chain solutions. So within your value chain is you can come up, if you're a donor, maybe supplying farm equipment or something of the like. You're able to hold that distribution all the way end to end to the ultimate beneficiary. So we're able to support with such solutions to go beyond that. Of course, you also have savings and investments, because as much as you're looking at sustaining today, you're also looking at what can you do in the future to have your money work for you. So we're also able to work with solutions around savings and investment. Right now, we are working with a multilateral organization where we're giving funding solutions to small merchants through our Pochi wallet. And within that, you also have an aspect. So if we're giving you 100% of that solution, we could say X% could go into savings to just help you focus. So at that point, you're looking at how are you impacting this person years to come. Yes, yeah. So a lot of solutions. May I also mention that we do have IoT solutions. Within the IoT solutions, you're looking at examples. If you're looking at social impact in terms of maybe water distribution, we're able to offer smart meters that can help you distribute this to them, create a business, because people also have solutions of selling water as a resource. So there are also IoT solutions that work within to also help our partners. Yeah.
I like the way, even with the future, it's being considered in a more sustainable, more self-reliance kind of perspective, and making sure there's a constant revenue coming to social impact activities.
Just to also give you comfort, all this has track record. So you have audit trails to be able to see all this. Everything is possible on a dashboard and setting it up yourself as well. Yeah.
Because everything nowadays is about data, statistics, so the translation needs to be clear. So even in terms of planning and strategizing, using that data that you receive and in a more clear perspective, that's very, very important.
I like that you mentioned, because you have to make insights from data. Yes. What you have is able to even guide you for forecasting, projection, analyzing the past, what could have gone right, what has gone right, how did we make it go right, what is a solution to now pick from that and reuse in other projects.
My last question to you is, what advice would you give nonprofits looking to integrate M-PESA into their fundraising strategies today?
Safaricom serves over 50 million Kenyans. We said we've impacted less than 10 million. How are we able to work together to even impact more lives? We are happy to work, and our doors are open. Please reach out to us. We'd like to have more impact solutions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gitau Macharia and Safaricom. We really appreciate the information you shared with us. For more details, we will include it in our description. Check out our next episode coming out soon.